Elijah, but I did a morning post this morning where if I asked which ETF would you pick to invest in if you had 100K, VOO, SCHD, QQI, or MSTY, which is the MicroStrategy ETF ran by Yield Max, the one that's promising 140% yield. That's so popular. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I seen it, and then I said the Yield Max was gonna win because it's almost like a cult following type of thing there, where like everybody's just obsessed with that triple digit, just like yield. So I already knew when you put that poll out, I already knew who was gonna win that one, to be honest. I'm not surprising. It's not surprising to see like that they took the lead because I voted too, and then I was like, yeah, I already know.
Dude, I'm surprised. I am. And I know X isn't working right, and I'm going to repost it in a little bit. And I appreciate if one of y'all would do it too, if y'all could, to help out to get it back. But I would think that VOO and SCHD would be way up there. And SCHD is 14%, and VOO is only 16%. And MSTY is 40% right now with 174 votes. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, when did you post that? I don't think I seen that one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I posted it this morning right before 8, and that's when X went down. And it hasn't got a whole lot of traction. There's been 2,000 views, but because everybody's been off and sort of given up, hopefully right now I'm going to repost it after we get done with this space to see if they can get more traction and get, see what if we get better votes. But yeah, MSTY's ahead by 40%.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely check that out, and I'll do my part on getting it out there too, bro. Yeah, X has been tripping, dog. It's crazy how bad it's been tripping, especially recently. Hopefully they get that shit together, man. But yeah, you said MSTY is ahead by 40%.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, people sold their Bitcoin for MSTY right now. Like they're literally jumping ship for that. And that was another argument that we had placed out there a long time ago that, when these new shiny objects come into play, how many of these so-called diamond hands that have been in for at least 8 years right now are still going to be holding on to their Bitcoin at the end of the day? This gets sticky from like a whole different ton of perspectives if you really boil it down. And the person who was sitting out, like someone like Elijah and stuff like that, he has less emotional investment into it, so he's looking at it from a logical standpoint, and it doesn't seem right to him. But most of us have an emotional investment into it, so we can't even see through our own bullshit right now.
Yeah, no, I like the way you put that, man. And yeah, you're right. Elijah does have a good, sharp mind when it comes to that, man. Invest. Yeah, you can go ahead and speak.
Oh, I was gonna say that like I have some Bitcoin, but I've always viewed all of my investments as like gambling, just in general. Like everything, it's like, well, it goes to zero, it goes to zero. I've always been very emotionally detached from. I mean, I make jokes and stuff about it, and it's cool to see it go up or whatever. But I'm just like, oh, okay, it's up. Or even when it's down, I'm just like, it doesn't really matter. I'm not retiring in a few decades anyways. So I think, as you said, like your perspective is a really good point.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good way to look at, especially investing, bro. I'm the same way, man. You got to be, cautious about it, and you just never know. And even with the things you got the most confidence in, there's companies that had all the potential in the world, bro, end up going bankrupt, and people lose a lot of money. And same with crypto, especially crypto. There's so many damn cryptos out there, but there's a lot of currencies out there. Like a big one was Terra Luna, bro. I lost money in that. People were pumping that thing up, and that shit went to zero. You know what I'm saying? And it ended up reaching like Solana prices at one point, a couple hundred per coin. But yeah, man, it's the best way to look at investing is like, only invest with what you're willing to lose, for sure. Don't go trying to throw your whole life savings and everything into, anything, just, DCA, dollar cost average, what you're willing to put in, what you can afford to put in, and You know, do your research, consistent research. I feel like people, you know, like think researching is like a, you know, something you do a little bit of and then it's like, all right, I'm good. Me personally, I try to deep dive a little bit every day. You know what I mean? Like, especially like crypto, shit changes. Like, bro, when I see a video that's a day old, I'm like, oh, that's outdated. So much shit can happen in one day in crypto, Bitcoin, and all that. Same with stocks. You know, you got to, you know, continuously update your research is the best way, bro. So you're ahead. You know, you got the edge, and then you know if you need to move your money, when you need to move your money. You know what I'm saying? And reconsolidate into something else.
I completely agree, but you gotta be that's the most important thing about investment. Your investment has to be changing with the world change. If it doesn't change with the world change, then obviously you're sitting in an investment that ain't gonna do nothing for you. So you have to constantly be on that bubble of what's going on and if this is going to make it or not type situation because it's a race to the top. And like you said, some things are gonna make it. They had the promise of the whole entire world, and they failed. And you know, there's a lot of things that go into that. But that's you anything that you're investing into, you want it to be progressive. You want it to because that's where the money flows into. That's where you become rich at. Is the progressiveness of what you invested into.
Yes, sir. I completely agree with you on that for sure. And another thing you got to watch out for is like some of these companies or cryptos or whatever you may call it or invest in that strictly just ride the name of the new technology, like especially like AI as an example. You got a lot of companies and cryptos that just start throwing that in their description just to get people to buy it, and they ain't got no proof of any type of AI being involved with their company or their crypto or anything else. And then you know they end up going to zero too. You know what I'm saying, or being a rug or whatever it may be. So yeah, no, you're right on that. Definitely got to move with the times and also pay attention to the ones. You know, I like to look in, like not just look into like, oh, what companies are using AI or have the name AI with it. Like, what is their product? How good is their product? Is it being adopted? What other companies are speaking on their product? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you got to research, man. Like in every avenue you can think of.
I think it's pretty funny you say that because in the dot-com bubble, if you look at a lot of companies in 2000 and 1999, they just added .com to like the end of their name, even if they weren't a website. They're just like, oh, yep, look, we're a website, we're .com, and they just have like a home page, and it was like blank. I mean, like it looked like Berkshire Hathaway's homepage, which now is obviously super outdated, but it was just like a page, and that's it. And they're like, oh yeah, this is the next big thing, and a lot of people got burned. So yeah, I see AI as a lot like that too. So I like that you bring that
That's
up.
that was the gimmick right there. That's what gained everybody. As soon as you had a .com, everybody was investing into the fact of a .com. So that was the bubble. And once everybody figured out what a .com actually meant and what you can actually do with it, and that was the point of the investors. That's why the bubble got created was because investors was just like, oh, .com, this the wave, but they didn't see, you know, JC Penney going on to online retail, or not even JC Penney because they didn't even survive. But you know, you did game the best one yet is like Blockbuster and Netflix. Nobody pictured that in the .com bubble because if they did picture that and the company was trying to sell their shareholders that, you know, it would have been a different type of game. They would have had more to stand on. But nobody knew what the fuck the game was going to. It was all
Yeah,
it
like
was all
even companies
bullshit.
like Amazon, like it went from $96 to $7 because nobody knew what it was, and they're like, "But our sales are up. Like this makes no sense. Why we're down? Our sales and everything's up, but everyone just sold because they're panicked about the .com."
Yep, they didn't understand it, and then that was the thing because the ones who worked the hardest, like Amazon and stuff, and built the actual product that was coming out and didn't just use the name, flourished, while everybody else burnt.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. And AI is looking to be the same thing, man. There's a lot of companies throwing that AI technology behind their name and ain't got not one shred of proof of what they building.
Well, that and crypto, because it's the same thing with crypto. Everybody keeps on saying that they can get yields off of Bitcoin. How do you get yields off of Bitcoin when Bitcoin doesn't produce yields? It just doesn't happen. So, you know, there's a lot of lying going on in the industry, and you have to wheedle through this line, because if not, they're going to tear you apart and they're going to rob you for every cent. This is what they do.
Did you guys see that Yield Max changed their thing to like how to like do calls and stuff for Bitcoin? I was reading through it and it seems actually really complicated, and I was like, oh my God, like I don't understand this. So if you guys understand it, that'd be great. But like I'm like, because they used to have like only money in like treasuries, and then they would buy it directly, and then they would do some weird call. I was trying to read about it. I was like, I am so confused.
So yeah, a lot of people will just like, for instance, they will buy the actual stock and short it on the leverage markets so that they can hedge themselves just in case anything happens. It works depending on what your spread is, but yeah, like I said, everything's risky right now because nobody knows where nothing is going. So
Oh, I get that, but like they're doing something really specific with Bitcoin with it's like basically options trading crypto, but not like I get options trading with stocks, but it's like with Bitcoin, I don't even know how you do that on an exchange. Like that even exists.
oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
that does exist.
It
It does
seems
exist.
confusing to me, and I'm just like, what? Like, how do you even value it? Like,
Well, they're doing option contracts on the futures markets, but what the new addition that they added to all their products now is that they're actually going to hold some of the underlying stock, which they never have before. But before, all they've done is write synthetic calls and puts on their contracts on all of their ETFs, and now they're actually saying that they're going to own some of these stocks, some of the underlying stocks inside of the ETF now. So I'm not sure why they did that.
oh,
If they're
okay.
trying to keep it more stable, is the only thing I can think of. But we'll just have to see. I haven't looked into it. I don't follow Yield Max that much, but we'll have to see what percent of each one of the ETF actually holds the underlying stock inside of it. If they do release it, but we'll just have to keep a lookout for it. I'll keep a lookout and I'll make a post of it if I find it anywhere.
Thank you. That's what they're doing. I was really confused. I was like, what are they changing? And I was trying to read about it, and I was like, I honestly don't understand options trading that much to begin with. I'm not going to go do a covered call ETF because I feel like I'm going to get burned. If I don't understand it, then I'm definitely not going to put money in it. You know what I mean?
That's what they want you to do too, not understand it. So you'd be like, "What? This looks crazy."
Exactly. Know what you own and why you own it. And if you don't understand what they're doing, and trust me, I don't understand what they're doing, and that's a red flag, definitely.
Yeah, I'm on their website right now,
Like,
and
I
it's
understand what
it's
YieldMax is doing with like Tesla and that kind of stuff because like I have a basic understanding of options, but I'm just like, I don't have a super deep understanding of it. So I'm like, I'm just better avoid it. And pretty much every options trader that I've met are like, yeah, I look at like when they bought and sold. I'm like, oh, look, if you just held the asset, you would have done better. Unless they're like some genius short or long that they did for like a leap and got lucky.
I don't know. In the disclaimer, it says in bold letters, the funds do not invest directly into underlying stock or ETF.
So they still haven't changed it. I wonder why. It's odd.
They said I'm reading their whole entire contract right now, and they're definitely yelling. We're pulling a lot of shit in the background that you guys don't understand. So yeah, that is a red flag.
Man, that like we were saying, man, that's why you got to keep digging because yeah, there's a lot of red flags out there, man. Well, they stay trying, like you said, hey, prolific, you worded it the best in our other space. they're good at pulling the wool over our eyes, or however you worded it. But that shit's real, dog.
Yeah, bro, Wall Street been in this game for years, and you know, there's two ways of robbery. You can grab a gun and you can go rob somebody like that, or you can get somebody to actually put their life hard money into something and sell them a dream that consists over 10 to 20 years, and then slow rug pull them. And that's what Wall Street is, man. It's legal robbery, and if you don't know how to play the fucking game, like you're just gonna get robbed. And that's why they be like 90% of people, 95% of whatever traders, all types of shit lose. It's 90% of all people lose anyways, is because most people don't understand the leverage that goes in the market that props this up, how the market is even expanding and contracting and just dealing with economical times and all types of shit. People just fucking oblivious to that. They think that the stock can just keep on going and shit. And you know, a lot of factors in the world matter.
Yeah, no, you're right, bro. That's real talk. That stems back to like what I was saying with them, and like what Elijah pointed out with the government and everybody buying up all the Bitcoin, man, because the government ain't never to been fully trusted in the first place, and on top of that, we know they don't always have the best intentions when it comes to anything. You know what I'm saying? They doing it all for their own gain, and if we all get wrecked in the process, oops. You know what I'm saying?
Oops. That's why it's an unregulated market. They cover their ass, and if anything, but the government also, you know, they look at it from a whole bunch of different perspectives. Like, why would the government adopt their own threat? You know what I'm saying? I know everybody be like, "Yo, you can't beat it, you can't join it," but you really think that the government just got defeated like that? Like, I really don't think that it's like that. I feel like they understand the mechanics of it. You know, everybody thinks number could go only go up, and I think they understand that's because it's a locked number, that the number could go anywhere that they want if you have the money to control it. And yeah, man, now they buying the plebs, they buying a bunch of, you know, of these what are these called, the node runners, fucking up their mind. That's what I'm saying, bro. This is all a mental game. It was never about everybody's like, yo, I'm diamond hand. It's time to hodl and shit. All right. Like when they mentally start fucking you and the environment around you starts feeling weird and shit, and you start panicking, you're gonna make moves that you're not ready to make. And that's what they capitalize on. And like I said, every mistake that you make in your life is their payment. So it doesn't matter. They get paid. They get paid. You don't even got to be in the stock market. You could just fuck up in regular life, and they're still getting paid.
Hey, I like the way you put that. Every mistake you make is their payment. Another quoted moment, man. That's real talk right there.
Prolific's always got good quotes, man. We should make a list and keep it posted weekly. He's always got good quotes, man. I love it.
Hell yeah, dog. For real, for real. That's real talk.
It's just watching, you know, being in the game for as long as I have and watching, you know, the fuckery. Because I started off in crypto. I never dealt with stocks. Even today, I'm learning stocks. I'm learning everything within the stock market. But I'm a crypto dude. So I watched this whole thing unfold with Ethereum. And you know, Ethereum, you couldn't even purchase Ethereum with fiat at the time. It was very hard to purchase it with fiat. So a lot of the purchasing of Ethereum was done with Bitcoin. Hence the reason why Bitcoin rises, Ethereum will rises. And, you know, slowly that became, you know, it started diluting into other coins like Solana and Cardano and blah, 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 and just keep going down the list. But if you look at the same mechanism, like they've been applying these Wall Street tactics from the beginning of crypto. And that's the reason why it was so lucrative and why people were like, yo, I got burnt. You only got burnt because Wall Street been in here running these type of tactics. And it's easy to burn the person who who wants to get out the ship so much, but there is there is no way to get out the ship. Is it like I can sell you the dream like the ladder's here, but all you're doing is just walking up into another level of the ship. Like it's their video game. The only way the video game ends is when the video game ends, and that means the plug been pulled from you. After that, there is no financial freedom. There is no, because all you do, you get more money and you have to deal with more situations. Like